You're on a date with a girl and she flipped at you for saying retard even though the context is that your jacket is fire retardant. What do you do? Seems oddly specific. I was out at a restaurant by myself, and happened to sit near a family of 4, mom, dad, college-aged daughter and high school-aged son. Dad, I just don't understand what you were thinking spending that much on the credit card. Daughter, I'm sorry. Mom, it was for emergencies only. Dad, you need to learn to be more judicious with your spending. Son, who had been zoning out until then, Dad, you shouldn't say that, Dad. What, son, judicious? That's racist. And that was the day I saw a man die a little in front of me. I think of him from time to time and wonder how he's doing. Don't talk about the retard chamber. It's a part of fire sprinkler systems. Closing parenthesis. Don't tell her you like her black shoes. I'ma head out. Call her fire retardant. Ask her if she knows what fire retardant means. Clarify you weren't using the term as an insult or belittlement. If she continued being belligerent and argumentative after that, then no second date. She's going to be flipping at you for the whole relationship, over stuff where she doesn't fully understand what she's talking about. You already know the answer to this question. 1. Do not run. 2. Avoid direct eye contact. 3. Walk away slowly, if she is not approaching. 4. If she charges, stand your ground, you cannot outrun her. 5. Don't scream or yell. 6. If you have pepper spray, prepare to use it. Cut your losses, friend. That dog won't hunt. Split the check. I had no idea you were boyfriend retardant. I would apologize and rephrase. I am sorry, I should have said, it's fire resistant, you retard. Quote. Just end it there, a person that ignorant and combative is nothing but drama. Leave because that girl's retarded. Sorry, my jacket is fire developmentally disabled. Politely ask her to quit being so fireproof. Say good night. Delete her number from my phone. Garbage post about it. Wait till you get into the car, talk and tell her about master cylinders and slave cylinders. I'd look directly at the camera and say, op, what the fluff is this nonsense prompt, and why is it on the front page? Single quote. I highly recommend you don't say you are going to be niggardly with the tipping. Feel incredibly lucky that you found out on the first date that she's an idiot, and not further into a relationship. As a disabled man, not ask for a second date, hobble away from her door after dropping her off, assuming I drove, and then never contact her again. There's a time and place to get offended, this is not it, and she's an idiot for getting upset over fire retardant. I deal with enough stupidity from the general public, I don't need to be in a relationship with it as well. I would explain that fire retardant means it stops fires. Once she realizes it's not offensive, I'd ask if she's retarded. That's the end of the date. Can't deal with someone so dumb that they flip out over a perceived insult. And it's not even an insult, they're just too dumb to know the word retardant or to pick up the context of the word. My jacket is fire retarded doesn't even make sense, and yet she flipped out over something she didn't know. And #X200B, male or female, date or friend, step away and do not engage. If she's going to blindly and passionately throw herself into an argument with no idea what a word means, think of how much energy she's bringing to the sack. Also, if you break up with her, she might smash your car with a baseball bat. So. Fine line, there. Oddly specific. Put enough money down on the table to cover the bill and get the fluff out of there. This level of crazy will ruin your life. Call her retarded. Get up and walk away? If she's offended with that, there's no way she's willing to do the horrible things it takes for me to get it up. She sounds like a keeper. Don't be niggardly with your compliments. Get up and leave that mess where she sits. Depends on how hot she is. Try explaining that retarded and retardant are two different words and keep going. Not going for the second date probably though. End it. Having to tiptoe around easily triggered people is exhausting. Did this happen to you, dear? I'm married and don't date, but if anyone said this to me, my response would be, listen, I'm very happy that you are against anyone using the R word flippantly, but that's not what I'm doing. The word retardant, with ant at the end, is an actual word that does not have anything to do with the R word, other than they come from the same root word. I'm not being bigoted here. If she interrupted me or still didn't get it, I'd end the discussion time together. I'm too old to care what people think of me when I'm right, which is saying a lot. Op must have had this happen earlier this week. I couldn't tolerate a relationship with someone with such a limited vocabulary. I'd end it there. Set her jacket on fire to see if it's a neurotypical jacket. Female, ask for the check and the meals to go and not say another word to my date. Take both meals home, save one for later. Based on her reaction, I'd order an Uber for her from the restaurant. Tell her that she's being niggardly. Why in the fluff are y'all talking about your jacket on your date? That's a better question. Run. Check please. Thought this jacket was supposed to keep away retards. Guess it failed, and leave. And explain what you actually meant. It's understandable that she assumed it was something else and doesn't appreciate usage of that word. R. Suspiciously specific. Did she pay her share of the meal or was she niggardly? Pay your half of the bill and leave. There's no point in wasting any more time on that level of stupid. R. Oddly specific. Leave because she's being retarded. That displays a lack of emotional and rational intelligence. But let's play Aphrodite's advocate for a second and assume she's on this date for stress relief during a hard time and she or her family has a history with that worded apologize for hurting her feelings and ask questions about it without judgment. This is a date, right? So we don't know each other very well yet. And part of getting to know me is gradually becoming unnerved by my calmness in person. OMG. It is clear that you did not mean the word in any derogatory sense. If she is going to flip over something like that, then there may be a little mental instability there. Either that, or she wasn't really listening to you and only caught the word retard, and spoke out of turn. How did you work the adverb retarded into a conversation about the adjective retardant? Shut up retard. Explain what retard actually means in context. Stand up, say goodbye, and leave. Active your suicide vest. I said fire retardant is in, it isn't flammable. I would never make fun of the mentally challenged, you fluffing retard. Quote. Get up and leave. Stab her. Problem fixed. Laugh at her, maybe try to point out the mistake, or most likely get the bill and abort mission. Are you upset that things are resistant to fire? Well, first I would explain what the word retardant means, because I like feeling smarter than other people. Then depending on the answer, either walk away or stay for more opportunities to feel smarter than someone. Confirm it's a misunderstanding, because if my date is going to flip out on this one, I'm not having a second date with someone who searches for reasons to be outraged. The world has enough outrage in just regular events, we don't need to go searching for them. Are you in need of assistance? Call a cab. Get up and leave, that's all. Leave her? Fluff that. Tell her that she's fun retardant. Leave. Stuff like that suggests she lacks emotional maturity and common sense. Explain. If that doesn't work, exit stage left. Gift her a music book, highlighting all the places where it says retard. Quote. Leave. Laugh. When she says she's serious, laugh harder. First date? Leave. Try to explain the distinction once. If she has no patience to learn or understand, then time to call it a night. Have a nice life. Tell her you don't think things will work out between the two you and graciously offer to pay the bill. Then ask her to handle the tip and request that she not be niggardly with the amount. Call her a retard for not knowing what retardant means. I'd say no, you're the flaming retardant. Dump her and try to find a girl whose IQ compares favorably to that of a fence post. She sounds like a retard. I am out. Tell her to brush up on her English language skills and leave her to pay for her own food and drinks, and find her own way home. Nobody should waste their time on such ignorance. This is oddly specific. I'd say, what are you, retarded? I fly a plane that screams retard at me when I get close to the ground. I wonder how a person like that would respond to hearing the cockpit intercom. Word of advice, don't mention how niggardly your uncle is. Fun fact, my phone refused to let me swipe niggardly. Another fun fact, there was a local councilman that was forced to resign for describing the council as niggardly. LPT, just call someone a cheap fluffer, you're less likely to get fired. You have two choices, leave her for being ignorant, or learn to live with it, after all, she can't help it, she's a retard. Tell her she's also safe near flame. Retard is a verb meaning to slow. Regarded means slowed down. You can advance or retard the spark on an engine. Explain that to her. Be careful on the drive home, there's a huge pothole. Unless the road crew already came out and retard it. Check please. End the date, obviously. I went to see Dodgeball with a friend when it was released. At the last minute his girlfriend came with us as her plans and fallen through. I laughed my butt off. I love that movie, but the thing I found funniest of all was the whole retard fluffing a doorknob line. I kept saying over and over and laughing the rest of the evening. The next time we hung out, my buddy mentioned that his girlfriend was a special education teacher and I had irredeemably tarnished my character in her eyes because I kept says retard over and over again.